Hey now, what is up everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and I am here continuing my 31 days of horror movie reviews and also continuing my little tribute for George Romero, who passed away. I'm reviewing Diary of the Dead. This is a 2007 film that was written and directed by George Romero, and the plot is we meet these college kids who are out in the woods late at night recording a short film, like a little school project, and while they're out there they find out that the zombie apocalypse has started. So they all have to band together, stick together, and just try to survive for as long as they can as all of these zombies are closing in on them. And also one of the main characters is recording everything on camera. Now what I think of Diary of the Dead is I actually really enjoy this film. I do. I like the fact that George Romero, he right after Land of the Dead, he wanted to do more zombie movies. He wanted to get back into it. And even though I didn't care for that film, it wasn't really the greatest thing for me, I appreciate that he wanted to do something different. He's constantly trying to think of different things to do in the zombie genre. And maybe not every movie that he made I loved, but again, I'll always appreciate the fact that he was innovative. Found footage was a fairly new concept around 2007. We didn't get that influx of found footage horror movies that we started to get like right after this. Just years upon years of cheap found footage horror movies, where I think this one really took advantage of this style. It really took advantage of the found footage formula, but also what you could do in that way of telling the story, because you have our main character Jason, played by Joshua Close, who he's obsessed with making films. He's going to film school, and you see him being a director for this short film, and he's all about trying to make this stuff work. And when the zombie apocalypse happened, all he cares about is recording it, documenting it, editing it, and getting it online on the internet for everyone to watch and just get the truth out there. There's a part of me that appreciates that. There's a part of me that understands. I too went to film school. I too just really get into that directing aspect, or just wanting to be behind the camera creating everything. I get it. On that level, I do relate to this character. But when the zombie apocalypse happens, I wouldn't give a fuck about any of that. It's a little silly when you see certain characters dealing with zombies all around them, and you see Jason with his camera just fucking watching them, not helping, letting his friends in peril almost die. It's like, dude, there's even one scene where he's on the ground, seemingly about to die from a zombie on top of him, and he's reaching for the camera on the ground because he wants to document and record his own death. It's fucking crazy, it's weird, and on that level I disconnect from him. On that level I'm like, you're just weird and crazy. There's several scenes where him and his girlfriend Deborah, played by Michelle Morgan, he's recording her. And she's very upset. She's very emotional for good reason. She wants to go back home and see her parents, see her brother, and make sure they're okay. And Jason's just in her face with the camera, asking her questions, almost trying to record her at her saddest. And I can't help but sympathize with her and feel bad for her when she's mad at him over it, when she grabs her own camera and shoves it in his face and say, how do you like it? It seems like we see her start to develop feelings for another guy, this guy Tony, played by Sean Roberts, who was also in Land of the Dead as a different character, so these movies aren't connected, I guess. But she's developing feelings for him only because, once again, her boyfriend was being completely insensitive and kind of a dick, an ass. And like the scene where they drop her off at her family's house, and she kind of looks back and says to her boyfriend, okay, so I guess I'll try to call you or what? And her boyfriend's like, okay, see you later. And it's the Tony guy who says, dude, don't be a fucking dick. No, we're not going anywhere. We're going to stay here with you to make sure everything's okay. And it's a good thing they did stay, because it is not fun what they find at that house. I'll just leave it at that. Some of the other characters in the group, sure, you have your nerdy like character, or you have these two lovebirds, they're a couple, they're in love, yada yada. But you have this one guy, Andrew Maxwell, played by Scott Wentworth, who's the older guy of the group. They brought him on to be like the thespian actor type for the project, and I really like this character. He's a badass in some ways, because he's not afraid to take the gun from somebody and shoot a zombie that they might have been close with, or shoot an arrow at maybe a little kid who's a zombie that's close to them. In some parts, it is a little bit of a road trip zombie movie, if you think about it. They run into this deaf Amish guy. Yes, I'm not saying that wrong. He's this deaf guy who's Amish. He's living out there in the middle of nowhere. He's trying to help them. He's a really good character, really good guy. And also you see this group of like black survivors. They're out there, they have guns, they have their own base. They take this group in and they're just showing them around and saying, yeah, like we can take care of ourselves. We have this down. I almost want to see another movie based on these guys. I'm not saying that this is like the best zombie movie ever. I'm not saying that, holy crap, guys, you need to watch this right now. You're going to love it. If you don't like this, I understand. I get it. I like how the movie starts with a supposed news footage of this reporter, and in the background, these dead bodies she's reporting on, they just come back to life. They eat people, eat everybody, and it's chaos going on. Throughout the film, it's edited in a way where they splice in other footage and they have narration, have the characters talk to the camera, give testimonials, and just talk about themselves. That's something you can't do in like a regular horror movie or zombie movie. So again, I enjoy Diary of the Dead. I really like it. Let me know in the comments below if you too have seen this film. Do you like it, or do you not really care for it? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!
Swimming in beers, I've been through it all, let me trickle a tear. In case you didn't know, I was living sarcastic. A motherfucking monster, something Jurassic. Had to wrap the whole entire bed in plastic. Smoking in skits when she fucking with raptors. Killing and drilling and I'm sipping on the 4-0. Listen by a whole entire motherfucking torso. Oh, what a rush, sniffing some more blow. Let the bitch bleed and I'm making a porno. I'ma keep it going a few times before I pass out. Wake up in the morning real loud.